here today for this time. Every one of you, I want to say, keep coming back. All right.
Hey, we're gonna start a program. We're doing a little different today. We're gonna do the public service announcement first. Mr. Jerry Ward is gonna talk.
Okay, let me just start off by saying good morning. Good morning. All right, I give honor to God.
Can you hear you?
Jesus.
Put the mic on.
Okay, can everybody hear me better now? Okay, giving honor to God, our Father, to Jesus, our Lord and Savior, Holy Spirit, our comfort, our friend. And I say good morning to our community. I thank Brother Perkins for inviting me here today for the opportunity to bring the status of things that are happening and going on in our school system. And my time is short today. I have a graduation to attend this morning. And so I was asked to just one of the areas of concern for us, that's going on with our school board. The last time that I addressed the community, I spoke about the concerns and the status of facilities and the things that are going on with our alternative school. All right, so things have changed even more now than they had changed from the first time that I was approached with the possibility of turning the alternative school into a virtual school. I had great concerns then, and I voiced nothing but objections to that. During the period of time when we went through COVID, it was thoroughly expressed, thoroughly researched that our children learn better face to face in the classroom. And by remanding our children who have been remanded already to the alternative school, remanding them to a home study where they have to be responsible for themselves, where we remove the safety factor, where we remove the social emotional factors from a child's learning. We take away a great part of that incentive to learn and to succeed, to progress. So, a superintendent presented me with a proposal for the alternative school. Word went around that a plan to shift the student population at the alternative school from their current local location to their homes with a virtual curriculum that was underway. I emailed Melissa. I was very concerned about the effect that this would have on our community. She responded saying that there was no plan to make the alternative school virtual. I found that was not true. That the plan, and at this point in time, I would consider that as a scheme and a plot to take away in-class learning from our students when the school has just been given an award for being one of the better alternative schools. So the word went around after the plan to send students to the alternative school curriculum. And that plan right now, as far as I know it, is still in effect. I even spoke with her on yesterday to ask her if this was still her ultimate plan. And she told me no. And what she's telling me is totally different from what I'm seeing. She has sent the coordinator for the virtual program over to the alternative schools to pretty much map it out to see how they can go in and adapt. You know, this is a far more serious setback for our children. I mean, they're already disenfranchised, where they're taken from their classrooms and sent into the alternative system. And about 4 years ago, the judge ordered them to go in and renovate that school. And I was actually pretty amazed when I saw that, Camp Snyder State School right across the front. I said, well, they're really doing it, right? They're really making some improvements. They're really making this a place where our students can go and feel as though that there's still some hope, that they're not being disenfranchised. But now it seems as though they were just preparing for this day. But when they go in, they remove our children. And before I get too far, I know I only got 10 minutes. I want to ask Dr. Hatcher. He is the court-appointed education expert. I want him to come and expand on the importance of what's happening.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. As I said, my name is Dr. Hatcher. I'm not going to take very long. He asked me to say a few words because I have concerns when I heard that this was the endeavor. My first concern is the rationale behind the decision. Because we understand from COVID that we can do virtual learning. But we also know that it's not the best format for students to learn. And so just because we can do it doesn't mean we should do it. And especially with the students who are most at risk. These students have been placed in an alternative setting because they have needs that are not met. And placing them at home invokes a lot of concern. Safety concerns, right? Unsupervised, right? And we know when students are not at home or they're home and unsupervised, it's going to impact the community, right? You'll see more things, break-ins, and let's just be honest. Things will happen and it will impact the community. So there's a safety concern, there's a food concern. For some of these students, school lunch is the best lunch that they receive. So what are we doing? Most of all, student outcomes, right? We send students to school to learn, right? I've been teaching for almost 33 years now. And I'm at Southeastern now, and we have intense training and focus on virtual teaching formats, online, and it is not the same. I'm the same teacher, but teaching face-to-face and online are two different things. Right. There are connections and relationships, right, a rapport that you can build that you cannot build in a virtual setting. And that's what these students need. So when you hear Mr. Moore talk about social emotional learning, that's what these students need most. Right? And so to take that and put them into a virtual setting, again, raises concern. And I'm just sharing questions that I have and that you all should be asking. Another thing, student enrollment. Student enrollment, from my understanding, has always been around 85% African American at the alternative site. Well, when you go virtual, what's the limits of students that can be removed from their home school and placed on virtual learning? What are the limits? What are the caps? That's a concern. Teacher training. As I mentioned, I've been teaching for 33 years, and I myself have been, over the last year, really focused on teaching in an online format because it's different. It's not the same. So have teachers been trained to effectively and efficiently teach in this format? Students, the students who are placed there, right? Virtual learning, online learning takes a certain quality of student, meaning that their maturity level, right? Their ability to be disciplined. There's a word, right? A lot of them are sent to the alternative places because they lack discipline. So why place them in a setting, in a place where they're doomed to fail, right? We know the trajectory. We already know the outcome. If it's predictable, plan for it, right? And this decision doesn't seem to take into consideration the best outcomes for students. So my focus here today is just to have you all think about those questions. First of all, the rationale behind the decision. Mr. Moore stated that the alternative program, and a while ago, that the program was award. Well, if the program is award winning, why then make the change after you see it? Right, these are questions that we should be asking, right? And I'm not going to take too much of this time, but I just, as an educator, there's some real concerns. This is the most at-risk population, and I think we need to really think about the decisions we make that's going to impact not just them, but it will impact the community. And so with that, and one last thing, there has been research, right, since COVID about the difference between virtual learning and face-to-face. And overwhelmingly, face-to-face is the desired format for teaching and learning. Yes, we can do virtual, but how well and how effective is it when we do it? That's all.
Thank you about that. Okay, so I reached out to Brother Perkins, and he agreed that it would benefit the community if we would extend the invitation to Melissa to come and to explain the intentions herself. So hopefully she will accept the invitation. Encourage everybody when she comes to just bring all the questions you have concerning this change. Have them ready and present those questions.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. School system is very important, and they have a lot of issues going on with the school system that has to be addressed. But I know returning school is one thing that's going on now with the closure and stuff. So I feel everybody need to know, and what you don't know is for you to investigate, read, and find out, and whatever how you can help, whether you're with or without it, then let's contribute. We're going to get into a little bit more about the people that's going at the candidates that's running for election. Just wanted to be known that we are Second Saturday Awareness and Action Group Incorporated of Tangipahoa. Our thing is to create awareness here, and we want to find out anything we can find out information to create to let the community know. All communities that's involved, that is concerned with, and from here we need to know the way to perform the action. We have people here that can do the action. So we try to direct people in the directions that they'll want to go to get accomplished the things that they're trying to get done or the problems that they are having. So in no way are we for or against when you're running for these elected officials. What we want is everybody to know these candidates, to know what's going on, where you can hear from them, where you can see them, where you can know what you would get and stuff. Because one thing I learned about that, I hate people getting into he's qualified, or she's qualified. Okay, everybody can be qualified. You can be educated, you can be a community person, you can be a resident, Qualification is deeper than that to me. It's serving, it's volunteering, it's wanting to make a difference, it's believing in the change, it's believing in strengthening the community and the surrounding areas and what you're going to bring to it. That's what you're looking for. I don't like to hear the word he's qualified, because it's very people can qualify to run for a seat or run for the election. It's what this person is going to bring, what this person is going to do. What changes he's gonna do, what he's looking for. That's why today, the only thing we're doing is creating awareness. And some of the candidates that was able to make it, we know the weather was bad. And I greatly appreciate everyone that's here now, because this weather was cutting up. It was really cutting up. And I can tell you, we was standing on our cup without looking, I said, wow. But I can tell y'all know what I'm gonna say. I know my God though. I know he's gonna slow it down. I said, he just let it go hard for a minute, but he's gonna slow it down. Because when you're doing things for the right reason and for the good cause, hey, trust me, God got you. God got you. So, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna, she's gonna talk about it. And Miss Alma, you here? Stand up, come here. Hold up, so. Come on up, Miss Alma. Respectful. They work hard through the whole parish and surrounding areas trying to get people to vote. She goes to school, she don't care wherever you want to. Joe can ask her to come to the juvenile center, she'll come if he's gonna give the vote. She just don't discriminate nowhere. They go everywhere trying to make a difference because she said voters count. What she wants you to vote for, but she wants you to vote because you have that right. That's so right. And right now we got three problems. We got a lot of people that ain't registered to vote. We got people that are registered to vote, not vote. And the third thing we got, I'm still trying to understand all this stuff going on with the Democrat, Republican, who ready, who not ready, 3,000 people not on the roster, this and that. So it's a mess. So we dealing with three areas right now. So you guys got to get concerned and dig in. Do your own homework. Don't listen to George Perkins. Don't listen to Joseph Dominique. Do your own homework. It's out there for you. But you see the technology they got now? Look at these phones. These phones do everything. Whether it's for the good or for the bad, they do everything. All you gotta do is actually start talking to you. Now they got the AI lady, she get on there, my wife talks all the time. She talks back and forth. I might go to the bathroom, she still asking. I said, you ain't cut her off? I wasn't talking to her. She's still talking on the phone. And ChatGPT, she don't never shut up. You better make sure you shut her off because she listens to the whole body, everything you say. So it's got all kind of ways to get information. So we have to do our own. You know, you don't have to depend on people. Depend on yourself. Now, if you have an understanding problem, that's a different. Then have somebody explain it to you and break it down to you. And you can always rely on our group for that. If you have problems with that, you have information need. What we can't do for you, we're gonna direct you to the people that can do it. And that's what we're about. We're about creating awareness and then making sure the action is performed. I'm gonna let Ms. Alma say just a few words and then we're gonna come up and go to the election.
Thank you so much. It's really good to be with y'all this morning. It's all right. Thank you. Good morning. It's always good to be with you all. Look forward to seeing everybody once a month. Thank you so much for inviting me. I want to tell you about two things this morning. If you're on the inactive voters list, and we've got over 10,000 people in Tangipahoa Parish alone on the inactive voters list, just because you voted in the last election doesn't mean you're not on the list. So if you go to vote and they tell you you are on the inactive list, they should offer you an affidavit to sign so that you can vote. I have a copy of that affidavit with me today. If anybody wants to look at it, I'll show you what you should be offered to sign. And if they don't offer you to sign it, you have. All right. The other thing, there's another that you'll be asked to sign if you are registered as an independent or no party. Legislature got rid of independent party. So if you registered as an independent, they switched you to no party. They are going to ask you if you are independent or no party, whether you want to vote for a slate of Democratic candidates or a slate of Republican candidates in the primary. I have a copy of that form. If you want to see what it looks like, I'll show it to you, okay? The bad thing about that system is that, for example, you will be voting on Louisiana Supreme Court Justice on this election ballot. Unless you're a registered Republican or you opt to vote on the Republican slate, you won't be allowed to vote for a Supreme Court justice in the primary because there's no Democrats running. Okay? And that's new. It used to be a jungle primary, now it's not. All right? And it's going to impact people in ways they don't understand right now. Okay? But please, vote. And if you want to see what these affidavits look like, I got them in my bag. Just come see me, I'll show you, okay? Thank you.
And when I mean she goes everywhere, I even saw her on Southeastern campus. So thank you for all that you do. So before we bring Mr. Damon Davis up, I just kind of want to remind you guys that we are actually bringing our candidates up immediately following him. We kind of gave you all just a little welcome information sheet about the candidate forum today. And so basically each candidate, we've given them 3 minutes to come up and share, to answer one question. What is one specific action you will take to create a measurable impact in? So they have 4 different areas: crime prevention, education, youth development, community and economic solutions. So as they come up and speak, guys, for you all, we're asking that you be respectful and allow each of these candidates to share their responses without any interruptions. Okay, and so with that being said, I want to go ahead and bring up the candidate for U.S. Senate, Jamin Davis, where his priorities are affordability, health care, education. So let's give him a round of applause as he comes forward.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I am so thrilled to be here and to have this opportunity to speak to you this morning. I've already on social media for not being here. I want to apologize now in person, but I gave you my word and told you I was coming back. I'm here. So I'm hoping that everybody that was offended that I wasn't here now can wipe their anger away, hopefully. I want to elaborate on what you said, ma'am, about what's going on. We do have to take an opportunity to just make sure we vote. And I'm not telling nobody who to vote for and how to vote, but we have to vote because it is ridiculous that people lost their lives for this right, and we turn out at so small of a rate. It makes no sense. And for the senior states people in the room that made me hear that was in that fight, I am sorry that you have to watch us disrespect the work that y'all did in those 60s when that fight actually happened. But to tell you a little bit more about myself, I'm Jamin Davis. My legal name is James, but I'm a junior. And growing up as a small kid, I don't remember how it happened. Starting out, people would say James, and me and my dad, somehow I ended up with Jamie, and it's been there ever since. I don't remember who gave it to me, but it's stuck. And I've been Jamie ever since. I'm married, 4 kids, 13 grandkids, and 2 great-grands. And if you would have heard me just yesterday, I would have said 1. But I got me a new one yesterday. So now I got 2 great-grandkids. The fight for me, I've always been involved, and I serve as the 5th Congressional Executive Committee person in the state party. And I, along with Lauren, was at the table when we all were working on finding candidates, because one thing that this dysfunctional Democratic Party that everybody talks about that says we are so dysfunctional. There is a handful of us that want better, and we work to try to make better. And so in that handful of people that's working for the party to do better for the people, we've been talking about bringing candidates to every election to fill every spot so that there's a candidate running for every position available. Well, I was a part of that discussion. And there always was this mystery, like a cloud just floating over the US Senate. And when we were discussing this, I was thinking about joining the fight with Jesse and Dan and the team in the 5th Congressional District because I live in the 5th Congressional District. Lo and behold, that cloud and that myth, the sun just dried it away. And there was no myth. There was nobody left to run for the US Senate. We had nobody. We called every resource we had. So Jamie stepped out of the 5th Congressional District and stepped over into the US Senate race. Friends of mine said, man, you've lost your mind, man. It's gonna take millions of dollars to run a campaign like that. And me and the person that I am, I've never been afraid of anything. I'm the same guy that from a little small town in rural Louisiana called Waterproof that dreamed about being a professional bass angler and pursued that dream and actually won professional national bass fishing. So I don't mind fighting. So I took that torch and I ran with it. And I met people along the way to make life easier. One standing right there, Bishop Edwin Sule. He's been a friend of mine since my state rep. So I called him and I said, hey, Bishop, I'm thinking about doing something. And before I could get it out my mouth, he said, let's go. That's the kind of people that want a Louisiana we all can afford. And at the time, we built a campaign and announced it in December. And we've been running ever since. We have contributors over 35,000 individual people that believe in this campaign. We can do this work together, but we all have to believe. I've talked to so many donors and tell them that I'm running, and you have good ones. You'll call a Democrat that tell you you have lost your mind. And I will not donate to a campaign that I know will lose. And I ask them, if we don't fight, how we know we're gonna lose? If we don't fight, how we know we're gonna lose? And as I move that time forward, I'm standing in the Capitol with all of the madness that is happening around the congressional maps. And you watch a body that is so entrenched in what they believe that the people are begging and crying and screaming. We don't want to not be represented. Please hear us. And then just peacefully and calmly, not say a word of it. The moderator, he does what he has to do to be a moderator, but you can tell that the stronghold of that committee is not being moved by the words people are saying. The only thing we can do for people to understand that we mean what we say and we're going to stand up and fight for what we believe in is to do the one thing that power, money, and all of the other things cannot trump, and that is vote. Because they can have a supermajority in every office, but a vote can change all of those things. We have to get our people out to vote, whether you're on the left or on the right. It's all about voting. That's why I stand before you, Because if we don't vote, there's no reason for us to complain. Man, they've taken our everything away. I want to go down the line, but I might as well say everything. They're taking everything away. And they will take away the right to vote if you don't stand up and fight for it. Because when you have representation of a map that was passed by the same people, I don't know if everybody realizes it, the map that the Supreme Court threw out is the map that Jeff Landry and his crew drew. Democrats did not draw that map. I don't know if everybody knew that or not. The bill was presented by Senator Womack. He lives by me in Harrisonburg, and I live in Faraday. It's about 30 miles away. I know him personally. He presented the bill. The bill passed. It was voted on. It was signed into law. 2 days later, the same people that passed this map, supported this map, sued this map. They playing in your face, whether you know it or not. As the young folks say, hey, don't be playing in my face. You know, your grandkids say that, because that's where I get that from my granddaughter. I heard her, they playing in our face. To present a map that they passed, put it into law, and then sue it to be illegal. That's playing in your face. I don't want to keep you on because I can go on and on and on. I'll get to the platform. You spoke on education, healthcare, affordability. We're all hearing it. Bishop gave me some points to talk on that I call myself researching. Sometimes I like to be authentic and I really don't like scripts because sometimes scripts can get in the way, but I know that we had a young man that did something horrible. And for that family, I want to apologize to them. I know we have an issue with homelessness, and we will do everything in our power to make sure homelessness is addressed. And of course, it's absurd for a governor to say people can be arrested for homelessness. How can you have passion for people and arrest them for being homeless? It is totally ridiculous. There's a lot going on in Louisiana, a lot going on in the nation. What happened in Louisiana has been a spontaneous combustion all over the nation. Tennessee making moves, other states making moves. We have to fight this. The only way we fight it is coming together. Like I said, I believe in people that loves people, regardless of not, we may have difference. You may like your white people, brother. I say I can't wear white pants because they'll be brown in a couple of hours. You know, but what I'm saying is because you like white pants don't mean we can't love one another. And because, you know, if you have conservative views and I have liberal views, why we can't have coffee and lunch and still be friends? You don't have to stand over there and I'm way over there. We can't even hear each other to be able to talk, to do the people's business. Because this is not about us. And the thing that drives me the most is to own a farm in rural Louisiana that has 3 hospitals around it. And all 3 of them are on the chopping blocks. Behind the cuts from the one big, whatever bill y'all want to call it. It may be beautiful to somebody. It ain't beautiful to me because of the things that it's doing to me and the people that live in my community. It's not beautiful at all. I'm the guy that's gonna respect everybody's views, but I still believe that until we get to the point that we can have conversation, whether we agree on the agenda or not, Louisiana will stay fractured. Why I'm the candidate to serve you? Because I have the ability to build that bridge to people. I have that ability. Why you have that ability? Because I've been doing it all my life. I work in an industry that 90% of the people that work in the ag industry don't look like me. So if I have the ability to build a bridge with banks, I have the ability to build bridges with equipment companies where I buy all of this high dollar farm equipment. If I have the ability to buy $1 million worth of farm products a year, ranging from fuel to seed to chemicals to all of those different things, I have the ability to go to Washington to talk the same language to those same people. So I may not be the guy that talks slick and speak proper English sometimes because I'm still a country boy at heart. But in my language, I can speak to you. And I don't talk over your head. And I don't talk like I know more than you. And it gives me the ability to look into your heart and see if I can make a relationship with you. And if you'll come and eat supper with me, we can do business. So do you want to send a candidate that loves people and have the ability to talk to people? Or you want to send candidates that are way above us and they're looking down at us? And they say, well, I'll send you something down there. The president says it's okay for me to see you. We're at a crossroads. I'm Jamie Davis, number 3 on your ballot. I would appreciate the opportunity to serve you. I'm not asking you to vote for me, but if you would, I'm number 3. Is there any questions? I'll take them and answer them the best I can. Yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness, that's a great one. Of course, agriculture. And of course, I've thought about that a lot. And here's what's got me torn. I have my dream ones that freshmen never get. And I have the ones that I've researched that they normally do that I don't like. But agriculture is number 1. That's really, appropriations is a great one, but freshmen don't get that. They don't get it. I've researched it. And freshmen get to do the go-get-em-boy jobs. And I'll accept every one of them, but agriculture is the one that's a go-get-em-boy. But they don't realize that's where I live. So I'll take that and run with it. Yes, ma'am. But all of those big ones are in reach, but freshmen don't get those. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, thank you. One more last time. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Mr. Davis, regarding juvenile justice reform, and my other question is, when is up?
Okay. Well, I'll start with supper first because you can look and tell that I like to eat. And I don't just like to eat, I cook too.
All right.
So it sounds like there's another visit to Tangi and Hammond, but you first gotta get me there.
Okay.
Yes, but for juvenile justice, that's really important. The plan is to make sure that the funding is there because the funding is not there right now. And it's hard to answer a question like this when you're looking at seats being flipped because that answer is twofold. It's an answer that you would have to give and here's another thing. I try to be a realist about everything I'm doing. When I'm doing the work, I'm trying to research in a way that if we don't flip nothing and I end up going with a Republican rule, then your legislation needs to kind of be more bipartisan than it would be if we flip things. So I look at it from realistic approaches. And I don't like just selling pipe dreams. But when you look at mental health and juvenile justice, to me, it all falls in there together with healthcare. And that's the way you entangle it, that juvenile justice is a part of healthcare, because no disrespect to anyone's family, but if the child don't get the proper things that a baby needs to become a productive adult, that falls under his health, because he didn't get the proper help. So juvenile health for me falls under the healthcare bracket with mental health. And as far as mental health goes, it is something that this administration has totally looked over, because I'm gonna be silly just for a second. If your head ain't cracked open, they seem to think that your brain is okay. Your head got to be cracked open in order for you to have something wrong with you mentally. But mental health is no different than breaking a bone or breaking a leg. Your organ, that is your brain, is sick and it needs help. Why your brain don't fit under healthcare when your leg does? It's part of your body. When you make me your senator, I will make sure that it falls within that. And I'll tell you why it's so personal. I have a family member that wears long sleeves all the time, because if you pull their sleeve up, you wouldn't recognize the arm for the abuse that she has done to herself. Those are the kind of things that are near and dear to me, ma'am, and I will fight like my hair is on fire for the people. Because what good is it for me to go if I don't fight for the people? I am not some rich guy that wants to serve the people. I'm a working guy that my health insurance went from, without the subsidy, went from $670 to $1,400. So I pay the same extra dollar gas and diesel on the farm that y'all are facing. I'm no different. I'm not some rich man. I have those same struggles, and that gives me the advantage to know what the people need. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question for you, Mr. Davis, and it's more a question asking you for advice. So how would you advise those of us in the Democratic or Independent or progressive movement to think beyond just this one election? And how do we continuously support equal rights and equal voting in the South, not just as a one Senate race or a one district race, but with folks in Mississippi, with folks in Tennessee, with folks in Alabama, with folks in Florida? What suggestions or what ideas do you have about furthering this beyond just, even if you do win, right, regardless? Does that make sense?
We're gonna pause on all questions at this point until after all the candidates have had an opportunity to share, and we'll have an opportunity for you all to ask some questions afterwards, if that's okay. Respectfully, no,
Can I finish that?
he can address that one, but everything else will.
Thank you so much. So here is where I would say for you to start. I would start with collaborating with the groups. Not so much the state party, because I just told you that we are working, but for people that are fighting for civil voters' rights, there are organizations all over the country. I would join hands with them to start that fight. And if your community don't have one of those branches, you can be the person that started. You can be the spark plug that starts the engine to run it, because there are deficiencies in different places everywhere. And if you believe in that fight, start that fight. I guarantee you they won't turn you down for starting a branch right here. That's how I would do it. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good morning. We are going to continue with our candidates that have registered to speak today. If you did not get an opportunity to register with us, we'll still honor the 3 minutes in response to the prompt. But we ask that, each candidate speak in the distinct order. So we will begin with Lauren Jewett, followed by Dan McKay, also Lindsay Rubia Garcia, Carly Gonzalez, Sherman Mack, Lacey Landrum, Jesse Fleenor, Brad Casio, and Tracy Washington Wills. So we'll start with Lauren. Lauren, please.
Good morning, everyone.